We didn't give us ahead of BlackRock engagement from the SEC. Tax perspective, disclosure perspective, we started with crypto. We have a legal team that knows crypto. We love Coinbase. I think this is best for investors.
I want you to explain for us, what do you offer in terms of ETF? What's special about 21Shares ETFs today? You guys are pioneers within, you're always associated with the BlackRock and all the other guys who are issuing in new ETFs within the digital assets world. Recently, you issued the Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF. It was a long process. It's not like an overnight idea that you popped up with guys. Walk me through the process. How was it okay, we want to issue ETF, and then what, right? It's not like I'm issuing a B2C product and that's it. Tell me about the process, given you're issuing it in very uncertain regulatory world. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I still have battle wounds from going through the launch process for both of those ETFs.
Yeah.
You know what? We launched. I think we filed our application years ago. Kept getting rejected. Kept refiling. We didn't give up.
You are one of the first guys who started.
One of the first, and we were actually first in line in this last cycle. We're actually 2 months ahead of BlackRock and some of the other competitors.
Exactly.
And you know what? It was for years. It was a Sisyphean task. We kept doing all that work, pushing the rock up the hill, only to get rejected. And it's great timing that you asked that question now, because this time last year was actually when we first started getting engagement from the SEC on our filings. Until this time, we really didn't have much engagement, mostly because it was just a rejection for everybody. And so I remember receiving the email that we received comments to our registration statement filing, and we were really surprised. We did not expect it to really happen, and we didn't know if it would be successful. And so what does it take to launch an ETF? It's a pretty simple formula. You have service providers, you've got all the legal documents, you've got the SEC filings, you've got to engage with the SEC staff, you need to have a really good operations and trading team who knows crypto, which we have. You need to really set up, you need to have a marketing team, you need to have a sales team, you need to have distribution. So you set up all the core functions of an ETF, which is no different for crypto than it is for gold or for any other commodity. I think what really made this process unique was the core product work that we were doing. Okay. And so, there were a lot of open questions around, obviously not with the Bitcoin one, but with the Ethereum one, could this fund stake the underlying? And if it could stake the underlying, how are we going to stake it? We do stake in Europe. We know how to do it operationally, but legally, how do we do it? How do we deal with it from a tax perspective? How do we deal with it from a disclosure perspective? We've got precedents in Europe that we think would apply here, but how do we get the regulator comfortable that we can do this in a safe and sound manner? I also think we really spent a lot of time thinking about, in the ETF world, it's called the creation and redemption process. Yes. It's the same as minting and burning tokens, but a little more TradFi than that. And so it really means is when you're an ETF, you create shares, meaning the trust, the ETF itself sells shares or delivers shares to a broker dealer. The broker dealer then sells it downstream. The same way someone would mint and burn at a primary market, sell it downstream. And the SEC required us to only accept cash, so US dollar creations or redemptions. We can't take Bitcoin directly from broker dealers. And so we had to solve from a legal and operational perspective based on new regulatory obligations or requirements that were imposed on us. And that was, it was tough, but we got through it, and it's been a success.
Before getting into the specifics of those ETFs, when you receive a rejection, first, can you appeal? Second, I will not say how does it feel, because it doesn't feel good, right? But more like what do you do, guys? Like, okay, we received a rejection. What's the next step? Do they like say why they rejected you, or like
You know what they do? They'll write a long rejection order.
okay,
It stinks. It stinks getting rejected on
yeah,
a product that you think investors would benefit from, that the capital markets would benefit from, and that
exactly.
you just feel passionately about. And you put a lot of work in these filings. It's a lot of work,
Yeah,
so it definitely stinks. But you know what? I think at the end of the day, pushing the envelope here and doing it within the bounds of our securities laws is we have an obligation to help advance the industry. I view that in that perspective. And so, we don't, we see this as every effort we take, it's progress. Even if it's not successful initially, it's setting the industry up, I think, to mature and to grow and innovate, quite frankly. So, you can appeal it. You can do a lot of different things, but I think we took a pretty regulatory forward approach where we prefer to work with the regulator than take a more adversarial approach.
oh yeah, 100%. Now I want to delve into like the specifics. I want you to explain for us like what do you offer in terms of ETFs, right? We have many ETFs issuers. Like, why you guys you're different? What are you offering today? Is it more like you're more technology friendly? You're better rates? Like, what's special about 21 shares ETFs today?
Yeah, really good question. I think I believe we have the largest product suite
Yes.
in the world on crypto-backed ETPs. I believe we have over 50 different products, and so we're really one of the few issuers that really started with crypto first. We started with crypto. We viewed the ETF as a great wrapper to expand access. Like I said, we were not a TradFi company that saw crypto as a quick buck, an easy way to make a splash. We started with crypto and we started with the ETF, and so I think we bring a real crypto native expertise in a number of areas. I think we bring it in the operations perspective, which is so important when dealing with crypto. We're dealing with billions in AUM. I believe we have anywhere between I
Yep.
believe we have 5 to 7 billion in AUM, depending on market prices. And so, operations, security, legal. We have a legal team that knows crypto, compliance,
Exactly.
finance, tax, etc. And so, I think trading, rebalancing our TPs. So I think our value add, our differentiator is the talent we have on staff. We've got some really interesting systems, especially in Europe, called our Onyx platform that we developed in house. That is really a game changer.
Yes.
Would love to see it eventually in other jurisdictions, but I think our big differentiator is the talent we have here and the experience and the systems we can put behind our products.
I love that. I love that. Because we're talking about ETFs, I want to elaborate. Like recently, in the last 2 quarters, a lot of articles are going around why all ETF issuers within digital assets are concentrating their custody within Coinbase, right? Many red alerts. You guys are one of the first who are diversifying within that. You recently hired BitGo and Anchorage to diversify your custody portfolio. First, why you did that? I know the answer. I want you to tell me. Second, why you think others are not doing the same? I know Coinbase is one like a very big trusted party and very trustworthy to as a counterparty, but like why others are not following the same thing?
I don't know why others are not. We have
Mhm.
a great relationship with Coinbase too. We love Coinbase. I think the key impetus here was concentration risk. We think this is best for investors. We think this ultimately it's something we've done in Europe for years. And so, to your point before, how do we differentiate ourselves? We take the best practices we've done in Europe
Right.
for over 6 years now. We bring them here and we show the markets here that hey, we really know how to do this stuff. Like of course, some of the big shops they'll figure it out, but we've been doing it. It's not the first rodeo, and so I don't know why others are not doing it. I suspect they'll follow course, but we have a habit of being first to market on a lot of stuff. We have the habit of being the first mover on filings, on new products, on structure, on
Risk management,
custody, product structure, compliance, etc. And we take a lot of pride in that. So to your first question, concentration risk, and we think this is best for investors.